I don't really know what to talk about, and that actually sparked an idea. I don't know what to talk about because I don't care. I don't care today. And I thought, oh, maybe there's something wrong with me because I don't care much lately. Kind of out of shits to give. And I realized something though. In running out of shits to give, a little bit happier. Today was a little bit easier because I didn't give a shit. Boss asked me to do something I definitely couldn't do. He wanted me to make two stops, and the distance in between the stops made it's not going to happen. Um, it wasn't going to happen. There was no way it would happen because the place I had to go, I was driving a dump truck hauling salt. The place I had to go would have taken too long to load me to ever get the second load in. So, just because of time constraints, I understood that from the beginning, and I didn't give a shit. I didn't care. I used to stress myself out about it when he would do that, and I used to try and haul ass, and then I realized if I get a ticket, I pay that ticket. If I get pulled over because I'm rushing to get this other load in, I get that ticket. I'm paid by the hour. Doesn't matter. What does it matter? I didn't give a shit today. And I didn't get stressed out, and I didn't get angry, and I didn't yell. And I'll give you an example. Monday. Monday, I gave a shit. I had to take a machine from Youngstown down to the Wayne National Forest, and that's about a 3 hour drive. Well, I got to work, and it was freezing cold, and the fuel nozzle was frozen. So every time I tried to squeeze it to set it to fuel the truck up, it shut off. So I fueled 100 gallons by squeezing the nozzle over and over and over again. It took me half an hour to fuel the truck up. About 15 minutes, that was me setting the nozzle on the muffler, trying to like thaw it out a little bit. It was just so cold it wasn't working. So it was like, all right, well, I got to get fuel. So squeeze, 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 squeeze every sneeze of fuel out of the nozzle until my hands hurt. That made me upset. Then I got to where I was picking up the machine. The company I was picking the machine up had no clue what I was talking about. Of course. And that made me upset. Put me about hour and a half to 2 hours behind for the day. Made me upset. Just pissed off. I had a shitty day. That's okay. You can have shitty days from time to time. But my day got better when I got off the highway and into the more densely forested area. I wasn't directly in the national forest; I was near the national forest. But as I got near those rolling hills and the farms, and it was two lane, it was state routes, but it was two lane, one each way, no middle turn lane, not a lot of traffic. My problems just kind of melted away. Why? Well, because they never existed. I gave a shit about something that didn't matter. Now, I was upset because, okay, you're wasting my time. I don't want my time to be wasted. I'm frustrated with that. It irks me. Um, but I gave a shit about something that wasn't worth giving a shit about. I got screwed out of 2 hours. But I'm paid by the hour. Why did I give a shit? Because I wanted to make it home and I wanted to hang out at home and do my thing. And I was giving a shit about something that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because I had no work the next day. I got pissed off over 2 hours and I didn't have a run Tuesday. Why did I get pissed off about 2 hours? Stupid. Yeah, I got screwed. I got shafted. I got the short end of the stick. It happens sometimes. But I got upset about 2 hours of work because I wanted to go home. Because when I looked up the route and I looked up where I was going and I planned everything out and I gave a shit because I took the time to plan the route out and I kind of tried to plan my day around the route. And then it didn't work out that way. And I got upset and I got pissed off because instead of just rolling with it and just, hey, what happens, happens, I got pissed off. Now, by the end of the day, I was doing pretty good because the scenery was wonderful and the customer was super super nice. I'm an old boy from Tennessee. I enjoyed bullshitting with him for a minute and joking around. Or I'm sorry, he was from West Virginia, I think. Um, Regardless, West Virginia, Tennessee, whatever, it's all the same. Um, just a cool dude though. And I'm down there and he's got this big smile on his face and I'm like talking to him and he's like super happy and super polite. And he asked me how I'm doing and I'm like, not half bad actually. This morning was rough, but since I got down here, I ain't doing half bad. It's real pretty. I'm doing all right. And there's some days that people ask me how I'm doing, and my response is, well, I woke up today, so there's that. The only good thing that happened today was I woke up. That's the whole day has been a shit show. Everything's just been a nightmare. I woke up. That's the only good thing. The only thing I'm looking forward to is going to bed. It's just going to be one of those days. And there was a point where those days were every day because I gave too much of a shit. I'm not saying go to work and just tell your boss to fuck off and do whatever you want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying stop worrying about dumb shit. Stop wor- Stop worrying about 2 hours. Yeah, you get shafted sometimes, especially driving truck. If there's anyone that should know not to get upset about a 2 hour delay, it's this guy right here. But who gets upset about a 2 hour delay every time? This guy right here. Instead of sitting there going, I got paid $50 to scroll on my phone. I got paid $50 to sit there and do nothing while these guys figured out what the hell they were doing. I get upset. I get pissed off. I get all fucking butthurt about it like a dumbass. I'll give you another example. Here's this article. I got two articles that I want to talk about. And my question is, who cares? So this one from Town Hall. Democrats held a J6 anniversary vigil, and it's far more cringeworthy than you could have imagined. Who cares? Who cares? Look at them. We don't need the audio. They're walking down the stairs of the Capitol holding candles. Because why? January 6th is like some weird cult holiday to these people. It's the strangest thing. But why do I care? I've been hearing about this for, well, all day today. I was going to say for 2 days, but I heard about it a couple times yesterday. And then I've heard about it today, all day. And it's like, I don't care. Who gives a shit? Why do they do that? It's a dumb thing to do. Why do I care that they did that? It's a dumb thing to care about. I don't care. But all the politicos are like, oh, well, this just shows you how unhinged they are because they worship the January 6th. Shut up. Nobody cares. If there's something I've learned about doing this, it's sometimes I don't have anything to say, but I feel like I have to say something because this is the story everyone's talking about. And I don't care. Not giving a shit is a good thing sometimes. Now, do I think when your kid comes to you and says, hey, Dad, there's another kid at school picking on me, should you be like, I don't care, Timmy? No. No, you should not. You should care then. I'm saying pick your battles. Why am I going to waste all my energy caring that Chuck Schumer and a bunch of other Democrats made asses of themselves on national television. Why am I gonna get wound up about that? And you know I'm gonna, because it's a dumb thing to do, and it's like, you're an idiot. Stop doing stupid shit, and it's gonna wind me up because you're being dumb and it's annoying. Why do I care? I don't. I'm just winding myself up for fun. Why do I do that? I'm sure you do it too. Everyone does it. Why do we do that? Get ourselves all wound up, get ourselves all pissed off, and then we go, why did I get angry about that? That was a dumb thing to get angry about. I'll give you another example. This 2,000 ICE agents deployed to Minnesota. Son of a bitch. There he goes. 2,000 ICE agents deployed to Minnesota in unprecedented immigration operation. Who cares? It's from penlive.com. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I see this article and I don't care. I don't care about the Somali fucking daycare scam. I don't care. I don't care. I can't buy a house. I don't care that Somali fucking refugees are scamming the government or whatever. I don't care. I want to buy a house. I want good jobs to come back. I don't give a shit about Somali fucking daycare scams. I don't care. Why do people give a shit? I think that's part of the thing that's really like pushing me away from talking about the political stuff is people my age can't buy houses. We can't get good jobs. We can't buy nice cars. And if we buy a house and a car, we have to work two jobs to support it. Now, there's some people that, yeah, they can, but a majority of people my age. Yeah, I got my buddy Mike. I was talking about him the other day. I can't afford to buy a house and have a new car. He can do one or the other, maybe, but he couldn't afford to do both. And Mike makes decent money. I can't afford to buy a house and have a new car. I mean, my job's shit. My job's falling apart. I'm looking for a new job. So, but I digress. You know, people my age can't buy houses. We can't afford them. Why do I care about Chuck Schumer holding a candle talking about January 6th? I don't care. You're an idiot. You're a moron. You're the problem here. I don't care what you have to say. You're irrelevant to me. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of giving a shit about things that I can't change. I can't change the fact that my boss asked me to do something that time does not allow me to do, right? Because when you factor time at the salt mine, there's not enough time to do both runs, so only one gets done. Why am I going to get upset about that? It's not, I can't change it. Why get pissed off about it? I can get pissed off about the fact that I can't buy a house because people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi want to be in office forever and insider trade and sell people like me out so that they can make another $1 million that they don't need. I mean, there's that. I can be upset about that because, like, you're selling me out so that you can have another $1 million that you'll never spend. You're just collecting millions like they're fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I can't buy a house. Meanwhile, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are buying up all the property everywhere. Every time someone's house gets foreclosed on, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are buying up that property. And now guess who can't afford it? This guy right here. Can't afford a house. Why? Because BlackRock bought it for pennies on the dollar and is trying to turn it around for the most profit, or BlackRock bought it and won't sell it because eventually they're going to own that whole street and they're going to tear everything on that street down and put in a strip mall. And who allows it? Maybe the people that insider trade, maybe the people that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street have bought and paid for, like Chuck Schumer or Dan Crenshaw or Nancy Pelosi, you know, just to name a few people. And I'm sure there's a lot more of them. I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump was in these people's pockets. I mean, so many of our politicians are bought and paid for. And here's the thing is they go around like they're morally superior, like they're better than you. And it's like, you're a peasant. You're a sniveling little rat. And you've somehow worked your way to the top by lying, cheating, stealing, and brown nosing everybody you've ever met. I just, I guess where I'm at with it is I don't care about certain problems because there's a lot bigger problems. Everybody keeps going nuts about the Epstein list. Oh, the Epstein list. Epstein, 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 Epstein. Who cares? Do I care? No, I don't. Because who's that Epstein list got on it? Fucking everybody. All of them are on it. Trump's on it. Fucking Clinton's on it. Fucking Saudi princes are on it. Fucking the royal family is on it. Now, that doesn't mean all of them are pedophiles, but it means they all knew the guy. They all partied with him. Everyone hung out with the guy. They're all on the list. That doesn't mean everybody on the list is a pedophile. That doesn't mean everybody on the list has done something illegal. Clinton might have been banging 20-year-old chicks. It's immoral to go bang 20-year-old chicks. I mean, unless he and his wife had an agreement that he could have side hoes, but I doubt it. I mean, Hill Dog don't seem like she's into that. I mean, if they're swingers, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Do what you do. I don't care. Why do I give a shit if you're a swinger? You know what I mean? I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you do in your own home. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. I don't care at all. Not even a little bit. Like, you do you. I just don't understand, like, why do people care so much about the Epstein stuff? And I get a lot of people like, oh, well, it's because it's children. Well, yeah, but I mean, these are fucking. It's not like they're 8-year-olds. They're trying to make it sound like these are 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Like, no, it's still wrong. It's still immoral. But why do you care about the Epstein list so much that you're willing to overlook like blatant problems like insider trading? You're so worried about the Epstein list that you're willing to overlook the fact that we're being sold out by people like Nancy Pelosi. Chuck Schumer has been bought and paid for. But you're worried about Epstein. You're worried about the Epstein files. Why? Who cares about the Epstein files at this point? We have bigger issues than the Epstein files when our politicians are being bought and paid for by lobbyists. You really think any of these lobbyists are going to fucking pay for someone who's going to release the Epstein files? No, of course not. Why would they? If their bosses or the companies they work for are on these lists, why would they want the lists released? I don't know. Here's my thing is, why do so many people care about the Epstein list? You think that they've kept it secret for this long and all of a sudden people are going to go to jail about it? No. That's why I haven't talked about it in forever. Trump released the whole redacted thing and it was just blacked out for 100 pages or whatever. And it's like, don't care. I don't care. Why do I care? So you're telling me he's not going to release the list. He put out a list just to rage bait you, and you fell for it, and I don't care. I've been watching people melt down over the Epstein list for like a month, and it's like, I don't care that he did that. I don't give a shit. Why would I give a shit? What makes me want to care that he rage baited you? I don't care. Stop caring about shit that doesn't matter. If they release the Epstein list tomorrow, think they're going to arrest everybody on that list? What are they going to arrest them for? Can't prove who did things with underage girls. How are you going to prove it? What are you going to do? Going to find every underage girl and ask them? How many of them are going to be willing to testify against some of the most powerful people in the world? I think a lot of them would just shut the fuck up and be like, I don't know. I don't know nothing. I just... So what am I going to do about it? I just don't care about it. I just don't care. Yeah, it irks me. It pisses me off that the elites get to do whatever they want without consequences, but at the same time, it's like, I can't stop them. So why am I wasting my energy over here being pissed off about Epstein when I could be using that same energy over here to build something positive that counteracts what happened? Instead of sitting here seething in my hatred for Epstein, I could be over here building something that helps women that have been victimized like that. But no, instead, I'm going to bash my face off the fucking table and scream Epstein over and over and over again, and scream release the files over and over and over again. Why? Why? So you can make another video saying the same thing that you've said 83 times and not help anyone and not give a shit about anyone? Or you could, like, do something about it. You could start an organization that helps people, you know, like the Wounded Warrior Project did. You could do something like that for trafficked women that have been recovered. You know, start a nonprofit or something like that. And I'm not saying you should. I'm not judging you for not. I'm saying the amount of energy you're putting into hate and anger for something that you can't control, when you could be putting that energy into something positive. You know, these Democrats are never going to stop saying January 6th was an insurrection. They're never going to stop saying that January 6th was Trump trying to overthrow the government. So instead of sitting here saying, that's not what happened, fucking play the game. Instead of sitting here seething, angry and screaming, Chuck Schumer, you're such a liar, you're such a piece of shit, ah! Call him out. Chuck Schumer said, I came around a corner and there was a whole mob of them and they said, there he is, get him. Well, the fuck you didn't. You're such a liar. Here's like AOC, who wasn't in the building, but she heard them screaming, where is she? No, you didn't. No, the fuck you didn't. Because you weren't there. You're a liar. We all know you're lying. But stupid people who still give a shit, who still pay attention to it, are going to sit there and say, oh my God, AOC is so brave. Oh my God, the MAGA Republicans almost killed AOC and she's so brave that she keeps being our wonderful politician. And half these idiots don't even live in New York. Half these idiots don't even live in AOC's district. But they sit there, yeah, she's such a brave, she's so brave, I'm so glad she represents me. She doesn't represent you. She doesn't represent anything. Because she's a fucking moron. So stop giving a shit. I don't care what AOC has to say. She's an idiot. I don't care if she says stupid shit. She's a moron. Why do I care? Wait, I'm gonna fucking... Breaking news! Retard says something retarded! Yeah, that's how that works. Retards like AOC say retarded shit. I'm an idiot. I say dumb shit all the time. No one's fucking kicking down the door to Fox to be like, look at this guy, he said something dumb. No, because I'm an idiot and people expect me to say dumb shit. Like, what do you think? Do you think? What do you think happens when you do and say dumb shit from time to time. People are like, "Yeah, that guy's an idiot. What a dumbass," and they move on. But on the right, when stupid people do stupid shit, we sit here and fucking double down on it and obsess over it for fucking a decade, to the point where it's been half a decade and they're still talking about January 6th being an insurrection. Why? Because the right is so dumb that they keep wigging out every time. Who gives a fuck? Let them say it. They're idiots. Just prove that they're idiots and let them say whatever they want to say. Just like they disproved that AOC was in the building, and she still says, they broke in and said, where is she? They were looking for me. They were trying to find me because they wanted to rape and kill me, even though I was not even in the building. Yeah, and how many people now are just like, shut up, and ignore her? And she doesn't talk about it anymore because so many people were like, you weren't there, shut up. And she was like, yeah, fuck, they caught me. But no, instead, we care so much. Sit there and just continue to let it happen over and over and over again. And then we care some more. And we keep talking about it. Stop talking about it. Who cares? Who cares? You can't change it. You can't change the fact that AOC is going to lie through her teeth. So call her out for lying and stop engaging. When you have a child that does something just to piss you off, stop engaging with that activity. I tell my buddy all the time, his kids, they'll tell him to go to bed, and then they'll start pestering the fuck out of him until he screams, and then they'll cry, and then he'll pay attention to him for 20 minutes, and then they'll go to bed. Because they want the attention. Stop giving them any attention, and they'll go to bed. Just stop. Just ignore them, and they go to bed. Because they realize they're not going to get the attention. You get these idiots like AOC that say this dumb shit about I almost got raped and killed on January 6th, and Steven Crowder and Tim Pool called her out and were like, no, you didn't. You weren't even there. And then she shut up because everyone was like, oh, yeah, she wasn't there. I don't give a fuck. Then we got Chuck Schumer holding his little candle, holding his little cup candle, talking about fucking whatever he talked about. Honestly, I didn't even listen to the clip because I don't care. Talking about January 6th and how bad of an insurrection it was. You just look at the dude and be like, it wasn't an insurrection. You're full of shit. Nobody fucking rounded a corner and said, there he is, get him. That didn't happen. You're full of shit. Shut up. It's that easy. You're full of shit. Shut up. I don't know why that's so hard in today's society to just look at someone and be like, shut up. You're dumb. Shut up. If someone commented it right now, I would still probably keep talking because you're dumb, shut up. But I mean, if enough people were like, you're an idiot, shut up, and stopped watching, and I got 0 views, I would be like, okay, I must be an idiot. I would stop making videos if enough people were like, yeah, this guy's an idiot, and stopped watching. I keep making videos because people keep watching them, so people must like what I'm saying, or they're, rage baiting themselves, whatever, which is exactly what the right does. The right rage baits itself. I'm so done with all this stuff. The politics shit is so dumb lately. Everything is a nothing burger, and it's just I can't believe this, I can't believe that, and then the internal politics of the right is to just burn it all down and hate each other, which makes no sense to me. But okay, I guess if that's what you want to do, I just don't care. I just don't give a shit. If you want to burn it all down and hate each other and seethe in your anger, whatever, do your thing. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't care. All this bullshit with Candace Owens, I don't care. At first I was like, okay, I care a little bit, because like, what the fuck, Candace? Like, seriously, stop. You're a fucking lunatic. You've completely missed the plot. You're on fucking a whole nother level of stupidity. And what did I do? What did I do after like the 3rd time I talked about it? And I realized she is so far in the weeds, you're never going to find her. Imagine throwing a little tiny fucking nut, like a nut and bolt, and just chucking it into a fucking giant swamp and then being like, all right, find that. That's how lost in the nonsense Candace Owens is. She is so lost in the bullshit. You'll never find her way back. She'll be lost in the bullshit forever. She's nuts. She's done. She's crazy. That's all that's left is Candace being a lunatic, smashing her face into her desk, screaming, "The Jews, the Jews, the Jews killed Charlie. No, the Romanians killed Charlie. No, the Russians killed Charlie. No, fucking Erica killed Charlie. No, some little fucking twink climbed up on a roof with a rifle and shot the guy. Because little twink boy didn't like what Charlie said about little twinks. It's pretty simple. You have a political party that aligns with these people, that houses a large amount of mentally ill people, and then someone aligned with that party, aligned with gender dysphoria, aligned with transgenderism, aligned with LGBT, which is a huge amount of mental issues, aligned with the right, or aligned with the left, which is a huge amount of mental issues. Combine the two, you got all kinds of mental issues in one big ball, and then you got this one person with all these mental issues, and then this group of people with mental issues. You have one person that's like, I'm going to go shoot Charlie Kirk. And everyone's like, that's so unbelievable. No, it's not. Crazy people do crazy shit all the time. Why is it crazy? Then a fucking... what, because he's a little gay twink? That's what's unbelievable about it? He's a little fag boy and he shot Charlie Kirk? What's unbelievable about that? He's a little twink who was pissed off that Charlie Kirk didn't like fucking trans people. And he killed the guy over it. And he got lucky because he almost fucked it up because he's a gay little twink. That's what happened. Oh, it doesn't make sense. How would he climb up on a roof? With his fucking hands and his feet. And a ladder. Or a staircase with rooftop access. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? How did he get on the roof? He fucking climbed up on the roof. How do you get on a roof? You climb on it. You climb stairs. You climb a ladder. And Candace is just over here fucking losing her shit, say, oh, well, there was a plane that flew in from Israel that day. There are planes flying from Israel every day. What the fuck's your point? You fucking moron. But everyone wants to keep talking about it. Everyone wants to, every fucking day. It's Candace this, Candace that, Erica this, Erica that. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? You're not going to change it. You're not going to unshoot Charlie Kirk. You're not going to fucking pull the bullet out of his neck and fucking seal up his artery and bring him back to life. It's not going to happen. So why are we sitting here fucking screaming about Candace Owens being a fucking lunatic? Tell her to shut up. Just tell her, shut the fuck up. You're dumb. That's something that happened when I was a kid. You know, if you were being an idiot or if you were being annoying, someone would come up to you and be like, hey, shut up. You're annoying. And then you would shut up. Nobody went up to Candace Owens and went, Candace, shut the fuck up. You're being annoying. Nobody cares. Every fucking day was fucking Charlie Kirk for like 2 months. And nobody looked at Candace and said, shut up. No one cares. Not one person looked at Candace Owens and was like, Candace, stop. Who cares? And she has snowballed into destruction of the entire right wing. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? I'll tell you how this happened. Because nobody looked at Candace and said, you're an idiot, shut up. I'll have discussions with my brother. Either one of my brothers. And someone will say something off the wall, and we'll look, and they'll look at me, or I'll look at them and be like, you're an idiot, shut the fuck up. And we go on with our day. We're like, oh yeah, that was really dumb, wasn't it? Like, that was a really dumb thing to say. I forget what I said, but it wasn't that long ago. I was talking to one of my brothers, and I said something real off the wall, and they were like, that was dumb, shut up. And I was like, yeah, it was dumb. Anyway, let's change the subject, because that was fucking dumb. I don't understand why we can't do that anymore. Like, why is it so wrong to be like, hey, shut up? But we gotta obsess over all this stuff, and the simple solution is just stop giving a shit. Just don't care. Your boss asks you to get a project done, and there's no way you can get it done. Okay, do what I can, but you gave me an unreasonable deadline, so shut up. Fucking, you want to watch the news and everything's Trump and fucking stupid bullshit? Okay, shut up. Change the channel. Change the fucking channel. Tell Fox News to shut up and put on a different channel. No, but instead we sit here like lunatics and we obsess and seethe and let our hatred take over to the point where you're fucking bashing your head off the wall, fucking screaming about it. It's like, what good is that? You're not accomplishing anything. You're just losing your shit for no reason. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Just like I got pissed off because I had a 2-hour delay at work. Stop doing that. I know I need to stop doing it, but sometimes it's annoying, Sometimes it's like, I wanted to be home at, 4 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. I wanted to be home. I wanted to hang out with my wife. I wanted to be at home and enjoy my time at home with my wife. I didn't want to come home at 6 o'clock, make a video. By the time I'm done with that, it's pushing 8 and it's time to go to bed. I wanted to come home at 4, and by the time I finish my video, it's 5:30, and I can hang out with my wife and enjoy some time with my wife. But I choose to do this because one day I want to do this professionally, and that's okay. So I'm willing to put the time into it, even though, yeah, that extra 2 hours hanging out with my wife would have been rad. So what's the solution here? Well, I'm just going to cut back on something. I'm not going to stop this because I enjoy it. But I'm not going to put so much time into looking into these stories that I don't care about and making thumbnails that I fucking don't care about and just like all the extra stuff that I've been doing. I was watching Dry Creek Wrangler School, and you're probably getting real tired of hearing about this guy. But he was talking about how he doesn't make thumbnails, he doesn't do all the extra stuff. He makes a video, he goes on with his day. I was like, man, that sounds like the way to do this thing. If you're going to do this thing, you don't need to fucking... What do I need to make a thumbnail for? You're going to click on the video if the title's interesting. I mean, yeah, I understand analytics and stuff, and like you're going to see the thumbnail and be inclined to click on the thumbnail because you're going to see... That's the first thing you see before you read anything. I get that. But if you see my face, and you're used to listening to me, or you're used to watching me, you're going to click on my face. Oh, what's he talking about? Click. And then you're either going to watch it or not. Why am I making thumbnails that don't have my face in them? Every thumbnail I've made doesn't have my face. Except for a couple. For a little while I was putting my face in them. But it's like, why am I doing that? Doesn't have my face. I'm not repping me. Put my name on it, yeah, sure. But like, you're not seeing my face. If I just let YouTube and Rumble pick a thumbnail, it just has a thumbnail of my face. And you're going to be like, oh, hey, I listened to that guy. Click. And if you don't care, you're going to click off, regardless of whether I make a thumbnail or not. So why am I wasting my time making a thumbnail? Why am I taking time from my wife to make a thumbnail? Getting pissed off, fighting with the computer, trying to get an image tweaked with ChatGPT, and it's arguing with me, and I got to make my own thumbnail from scratch now. And there was times it took me fucking an hour and a half to get a fucking thumbnail done. Why? These videos used to take me like 3 hours to make. So I cut it down, and I cut out the extra steps, and if there's something I want to talk about, I'll pull up an article and I'll talk about it. If I just want to bullshit, if I just want to vent my mind for the day, then I'm going to vent my mind for the day. I guess it's not that I don't care about this either. I do. I care about this. I enjoy doing it. But I care about other things more. My wife will always be more important than this. If I was making $1 million a year off this and someone said, you can give this up and you can go back to being broke and keep your wife, or you can keep doing this and lose your wife, I would throw the computer out the window. I mean, there's some things that are just more important. So while I enjoy this, I'm going to simplify it so that I can enjoy it. So I'm going to simplify it so I get the most enjoyment out of it. And the most enjoyment out of it has been these past couple of videos where I'm not like, 15 minutes. I've got to fill another 15 at least. It's just, here's what I think about today. This is what I think about today. And tomorrow, I'll tell you what I think about tomorrow. And that'll be it. And if it's political, it's political. And if it's not political, it's not going to be political. And if it's fucking news, it's going to be news. And if it's not news, it's going to be trucks or jeeps or whatever. I guess everything's technically news in a way. It might be old news, it might be new news, it might be whatever. But anyway, I digress. That's all I got for you. I just wanted to chatter about stop giving a shit. You know? Because at the end of the day, your shits are worth giving to things that matter. And instead of sitting here screaming at each other because Trump kidnapped Nicolas Maduro, I don't care. Fuck that guy. Not a good dude. He's a piece of shit. He's a fucking drug lord and illegitimate president. He's an illegitimate political leader and a drug lord. I don't care. Fuck him. I wouldn't care if they shot the guy. I don't give a fuck. Why would I give a fuck? You bring in drugs into this country that are killing our children. I don't care what they do with them. I really don't. I don't care. They do what they want anyways. Why do I give a shit? What, I think he's going to go to a trial and he's going to get off because he has a good lawyer? No. No, they're going to lock him in prison for something. They got a laundry list of things. There's a bounty on his head. He's going to prison. I don't care how they did it. I don't care why they did it. The dude's a degenerate. Fuck him. Let him rot. I don't fucking care. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm done caring about things that aren't important. Because there are things that are very important. And oftentimes we overlook those things to worry about the stupid shit. We want to argue online about whose car is faster, whose political party is right. Fuck that shit. Okay, your car's faster. All right, that's fine. I'm going to go enjoy mine. You know, I'm going to go enjoy what I have. Okay, your house is bigger. I like my house. I'm going to enjoy my house. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm done arguing. Okay, you want me to do this impossible task? Okay, you gave me an unreasonable deadline. Okay, I will do as much as I can do within that deadline. And anything else, I don't know what to tell you. I still give a shit, but I'm not going to give too much of a shit. I'm not going to stress myself out unnecessarily about shit that is out of my control anymore. Because I'm someone that I stress myself out all the time. I stress myself out about things that happened when I was 10. So I'm not going to do it anymore. What the fuck's the point? Anyway, that's it. I'll see y'all next